It's time to open our eyes.
The Whispering Woods bordered the town of Everbrook, a place where stories weren't just read. They seemed to breathe in the rustling leaves and babbling brooks. But lately, the whispers had grown faint, the brooks a little sluggish. A strange stillness had settled over the usually vibrant ecosystem. In Everbrook lived a bright-eyed girl named Alara, whose curiosity was as boundless as the sky. Unlike her peers who were content with the fantastical tales of the woods, Alara was fascinated by how the trees grew so tall, why the water flowed downhill, and the intricate patterns on a butterfly's wings. Her favorite place was the old, dusty workshop of her grandfather, a retired clockmaker who had filled it with gears, lenses, and half-finished contraptions. One day, the elder of Everbrook, a woman whose voice usually held the wisdom of centuries, approached Alara with a worried frown.
The wonder-weaving loom in the heart of the woods,
She said, her voice low.
It has fallen silent. The loom weaves the very magic that keeps our woods vibrant, and its threads have begun to fray.
The wonder-weaving loom was a legendary device, said to be powered by the harmony of the woods itself. Alara, though young, felt a spark of excitement mingled with concern. This wasn't a problem for magic. It sounded like a puzzle. "Can I see it, Elder?" she asked, her heart thumping. The elder nodded, and Alara, armed with her grandfather's magnifying glass and a notebook filled with her observations of the natural world, ventured into the Whispering Woods. Deep within the woods, nestled beside a moss-covered spring, stood the wonder-weaving loom. But now it was still and silent, some of its luminous threads dangling lifelessly. Alara didn't try to cast a spell or wish for it to work. Instead, she began to observe. She noticed the way the sunlight filtered through the leaves and how it seemed to focus on certain crystals embedded in the loom's frame. She traced the path of the spring, noting how its flow had become weak and uneven. She even examined the types of leaves and flowers growing around the loom, noticing a lack of the usual vibrant hues.
It's like something is disrupting the natural flow.
She murmured to herself, scribbling in her notebook. This was her version of scientific inquiry, asking questions and gathering data. She noticed that the loom seemed to draw energy from the spring. Following the water upstream, she discovered a small landslide had partially blocked the flow, diverting some of it away from the loom. This was her first clue, a problem in the system that powered the magic. Using her understanding of simple machines, something her grandfather had patiently taught her, Alara found a sturdy branch and used it as a lever to dislodge some of the smaller rocks blocking the spring. Slowly, the water began to flow more freely towards the loom. To test her idea, Alara carefully cleared away any leaves or debris that might be obstructing the sunlight from reaching the spring and the crystals. She even used some polished stones she found to try and reflect more light towards a particularly dim crystal. However, the loom was still not fully functioning. She noticed that some of the woven threads were tangled and preventing the smooth movement of the mechanism. Looking closely, she saw that tiny sticky droplets of sap from a nearby, slightly diseased tree were causing the tangles. This was an engineering challenge. How could she prevent the sap from interfering with the delicate threads? She gathered some smooth, broad leaves and carefully positioned them to act as barriers, deflecting the falling sap away from the loom's intricate workings. This was her design and implementation, using her knowledge to create a practical solution. As the loom worked its magic, the Whispering Woods stirred back to life. The leaves rustled with renewed vigor, the brooks chuckled merrily, and the flowers bloomed in a riot of color. The stillness was replaced by the vibrant symphony of nature. The elder and the people of Everbrook were overjoyed. They marveled at the loom's return to life, attributing it to Alara's cleverness. But Alara simply smiled.
It wasn't magic that fixed the loom.
She explained, her eyes shining with understanding.
It was about understanding how things work together, the water, the light, the materials.
It was about science, technology, in how the loom was designed, engineering, in finding solutions to the problems, and math, in understanding patterns and flow. Learning about the wonder of the world helped me solve the wonder of the loom. From that day forward, STEM education wasn't just a concept in Everbrook, it was a way of seeing the world. Children no longer just listened to the whispers of the woods. They learned to understand their language through observation and inquiry. They realized that learning about the world around them, with its intricate systems and fascinating mechanisms, was the most wondrous adventure of all. And Alara, the girl who approached a magical problem with a scientific mind, became a living testament to the power of STEM, where learning truly meets wonder.